This is the Surly Grognards for September 25th, 2017. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
Doing all right.
Excellent. So, this week, uh, okay, so we're gonna be this weekend. Something, there was a big sort of nerd culture television event thing that happened on Sunday. In that we have a new Star Trek series, kind of.
Yep. Well, I'd say it was a new Star Trek
I don't know.
series.
I mean, I'm not commenting on whether it was a Star Trek series or not. The fact that we have it or not is sort of a kind of, because it's not going to be on television. It's going to be on a subscription on CBS's own subscription-only service here in the States. Apparently, in Europe, it's going to be on Netflix. And
Oh, thanks, Europe. You just flaunt all your good shit in our faces, why don't you? Oh, look at us. We have a universal healthcare. Look at us. We've got me 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 me. Now we get Star Trek for free on Netflix. Fuck you, Europe.
to be fair, European Netflix tends to get stuff much later than we do generally.
This is true.
And sort of through the looking glass sort of event here for us, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, here in the States, it's going to be on CBS's own new premium streaming site. Which, even if I liked what the episode, because Eric and I decided to we watched it this afternoon.
We just watched it, so.
Because we decided, Eric suggested us we could watch it and talk about it, and then said, you know what? I was not enthusiastic about watching it, but for a show, as a show thing, sure, why the hell not?
And it's new Star Trek, and we both love Star Trek.
We both love Star Trek, love it to pieces, and yeah. So we watched it on a website. We did not watch it on a legitimate source. I'm going to say this just flatly, because no.
Honestly, if we'd come up with the idea yesterday, we could have watched it when it aired. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm surprised I cannot watch that. You cannot watch the first episode streaming without signing up for CBS's thing.
Yeah,
because
if it had just
you're
been
giving it away for free on the TV, why can't you just let me stream it at my convenience?
Because they hate us, Eric.
Yeah.
And how does that make them more? And how does that make them money?
Because it allows more people to potentially get hooked on the show and want to see more of it, and therefore has a greater chance of them subscribing to their whatchamacallit.
But Eric, how could they get the people's information about the fact they were interested, so they can sell it to advertising agencies?
I'm trying here, dude. I mean, there's clearly like the right thing to do here that will generate greater revenue, but they're being short-sighted and stupid.
So they're being a television network, is what you're saying?
They're being a corporation.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, long story short, yeah, I did not want to sign up for their free trial because it requires your name and zip code, and I basically brought up the page to look at what it required.
Yeah,
and it required required a bunch of personal information and a credit card number, actually, apparently.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what?
No,
there's been enough data breaches of late. I'm not going to risk it.
No, fuck that.
I mean, thank God I'm as off the grid as I am. Otherwise, I'd probably have been boned by the fucking Equifax fiasco.
Probably. At any rate. So, yeah, we watch it on a non-traditional source, shall we say. All right, so Star Trek Discovery, the new series, is a prequel to the original series because, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why they're so afraid of doing post DS9 Star Trek.
Part of it is, I will say this. Part of it is they want. I don't know actually. I mean, I could see the argument for wanting to like not have to deal with some of the crazy advances in tech that happened in the next gen era stuff.
Sure, but that
But
just means
you know,
an increase in storytelling ideas. I mean, this is Star Trek. Like dealing with tech is kind of part of the deal.
well, you know, at any rate, the yeah, I've got issues with the fact that it is yet another prequel. And the fact that it's actually a prequel is actually like honestly, my gut feeling is at this point like if you're gonna set things back, like if they're gonna set it before original series, I don't. The problem is that means they have to contend with continuity,
Yes.
and they failed on a few areas of that. I will say this.
Well, you see, they wouldn't have to deal with continuity and making sure shit ends up in the right way so that the original series can happen, or the JJ verse, whichever one you want to slide it into, because you're a fucking retard and want to do the JJ verse. That's unfair to retards. I hate the JJ verse.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. But honestly, they would have been better off. Like honestly, if they want to set it sort of in it like if you wanted to do a new Trek series and explore different weird stuff and look at do stuff with the history with the Klingons and do different things that are different with Klingons than the way they were handled in the original series. Do it in the JJ verse and just
Yeah.
set it right after the movies or concurrent with
Yep.
the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could just pretend that Into Darkness never happened because Beyond basically did. And
Which is the right reaction,
dear
honestly.
fucking God. Oh, Into Darkness was so fucking terrible. I will say this: as much as I did, I was not a big fan of Discovery, the first episode of Discovery. I'm going to say this right now, but it's still not Into Darkness, so kudos, I guess.
Oh, it blew my expectations out of the water. Discovery did.
It was better than what I expected.
I was expecting a goddamn dumpster fire.
I
was
agree with you on
expecting this
that.
thing to be freaking terrible.
And in my opinion, it was merely meh to bad, and it didn't really feel very Star Trek-y to me. That said, it was.
I don't know. I've got thinking about it more. I've got sort of more of a DS9 consequences matter type of deal, and people are human and are allowed to fuck up and be weird.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I absolutely adore about DS9.
Sure, but there was still certain things about DS9 where they didn't ram it. That like this, I will say this: Discovery rams it down your throat that the Federation's ethos is wrong and stupid.
Well, the first episode does.
Yes, that's
We
right.
clearly only got half the story because cliffhanger.
Right. But would not be surprised if that's the way that they continue going. The way, just it's the tone of the writing is.
I don't know because
I
Michael Burnham, the our principal character, she's one, I like her. Two, soon as she finds out there's Klingons involved, she's completely off her fucking rocker. Like she's not emotionally like prepared to deal with Klingons. For everyone's sake, at the beginning of the show, there have been only intermittent contact with the Klingons for about 100 years, and Michael's family was killed in the Klingon raid when she was a child. So she's got some issues with Klingons.
right.
Like, to the point where spoilers, she outright mutinies
Yeah,
Which is, yeah.
yeah. It's just that it, as again, I'm just going by what happened in this episode and the tone of how things seem to react to what people said and the sort of way things were framed. The impression that I got is that Michael is right, according to the writers of the show. Her interpretation of things and her reaction to the Klingons is the correct thing, and the Federation's more exploration centric and diplomatic side is wrong. That's the implication that I was getting and the read I was getting from the show.
I don't. I'm again. I haven't seen the first episode, the second episode, which is clearly necessary to understand what the fuck is going on. We've only watched the first episode, by the way.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But I very much got the impression that like it's setting her up to be wrong.
That's
like
that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting that setting her up to be right, and that everyone else is going to pay the price for not listening to her.
No, I think it's setting her up to be wrong because I think the Klingon, our crazy Klingon cultists, want her to shoot first.
That's not the impression I got either, though. That really isn't. Like, the whole interaction with Sarek really, and the sort of the quote Vulcanello, which, by the way, for fuck's sake. Ugh. There's just so much about this that it just doesn't jive with my sort of my takeaways from Trek and things I like about it.
Okay.
Again, this is it. I could be wrong. I agree with you, Eric. It's possible that I'm wrong, but
it feels like they're setting her up to be
of the
wrong.
show. Again, if this
it feels like she's going to end up getting her way and getting to shoot at the Klingon ship in front of a dozen fucking Klingon witnesses that just warp in at the end of the episode, and it's going to be like, congratulations, way to start a war. Thanks, you gave us what we wanted. We needed a bad guy that wasn't ourselves.
Yeah, but that's not the way the Klingons. These Klingons are operating. They are very clearly looking to. They're not looking for. They're not looking for an excuse to start a war. They're looking to just attack. That's the.
They're looking to be martyrs.
That's not
Their ship is covered in corpses. They're looking to be martyrs.
Yes, but I don't think they. Again, that doesn't fit into the way the Klingon mindset has been portrayed in the show. That the mindset is not that in the way they talk about the Klingons is that the Klingons will shoot first. They're simply waiting for the reason they haven't shot first yet is they're waiting to summon their entire fleet so they have an entire force to just go steamrolling over shit. That's the impression I was getting. Because
you look at the no. Look at the information that we have. One, there's a single Federation ship that's the only Federation ship in parsecs.
Yes.
Two, the Klingon Nagelfar is stated several times to outgun the Shenzhou by an order of magnitude. They can steamroll them.
It's not just
they need witnesses.
But Eric, that's not the. But my point is though that the Klingons are not portrayed in any way. It's not just that the Klingons are portrayed. They are the whole reaction the Klingons are having to the Federation is because of the Federation's pacifistic attitude. They are not expecting the Federation to shoot first. That is the message the show is giving. Because they routinely, like, all the things they're like at the beginning when they're talking about the Federation's greeting of "We come in peace" and how just distasteful and awful that is to the Klingons. They're not
how much?
Yes.
By the way, this is these are Gene Stealer cult Klingons. Just to let everyone know.
Yes. We'll get to the visual.
One, it is clearly a Kahless cult. Two, they look like Gene Stealer cultists.
But again, like, they're not expecting the Federation to shoot first. Because the Federation doesn't do that. Why the reason haven't shot first, they're trying to lure a Federation fleet there and then they bring their fleet in and crush the entire Federation fleet. Killing just one Federation ship is not enough glory to basically rekindle the Empire.
I think it's too simple and straightforward for these crazy fucks, and they are crazy fucks.
Yeah, but again, they're religious fanatics. They don't need they don't need a pretense to go to war. They're Klingons.
Right, they don't need a pretense to go to war.
So they don't
but
need.
There's I'm going to point out part of the reason why there has been a lot of interaction with the Klingon Empire. Klingon, they state straight up the 24 great houses are busy tearing each other apart.
Right.
They have a war.
Yeah, I just am not getting the impression like there's nothing that indicates to me that the Klingons want the Federation to shoot first. Everything in the show is telling me that the Federation firing first is the correct move. That's what the tone of the dialogue, the tone of the interactions between Sarek and Burnham, the way they're framing the diplomatic reactions of Michelle Yeoh's character Giorgio and the Admiral, they're being framed as being, and the way they're being shot and everything is being framed as they are weak sauce and they are wrong. And that is my biggest objection to this, is it is so just shitting on the Starfleet ethos. Which
I think it's a red herring. I think because that's the most interesting place to go. What's the word I'm looking for? That's the most interesting place to go narratively. For all of what you just said to be red herring, and for Yeoh to be very wrong, and she gets her way and proves that it's really wrong. Not Michelle Yeoh.
Burnham.
Michael Burnham. Yes. I don't know the actress's name. I'm a bad person.
If I genuinely trusted modern Star Trek writers to do that, I would say you're right. But I don't. And as I said, the tone of this, my gut. Again, I'm just going with my gut reaction to what the tone felt like to me. Again, I could be wrong. I'm saying this flatly. I could be wrong, but that's not what I'm getting from this. And also, I mean, but irrespective of that, though, I mean, you might be right, Eric, and God, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too, because that would be, and not because I enjoy being right. I like to be proven wrong for the right reasons, but I think I'm right here because, like I said, it's the most interesting way to go.
If the writers are better at plotting than I think they are, you're right. You probably are right. I'm just not convinced they are.
It just strikes me as the best place to go from a narrative point of view. And I'm going to point out, TV has been it's sort of a writer's war for ever since Game of Thrones came out. Everyone's trying to be good. That the dark ages of TV are over. Actual good writing is the way to go.
Well, yes, on cable networks, not on fucking not by the networks.
Yes, the networks are clearly far behind. I think this is I'm
not impressed.
And
and I'll say this also. There's a lot of cable. There's still a majority of stuff on like of the prestige dramas that are not as well written as people as they think they are, as the scripts think they are.
Sure.
I can't comment on Game of Thrones because I don't watch it because I'm not a fan of the novels, so I literally have zero interest in the show.
The past season's writing for Game of Thrones has been all over the place. It is clear that going, okay, what is the storyline we're supposed to follow? Okay, how do we get from point A to point B? Fast travel. Okay. I mean that from plot point A to plot point B, plot fast travel. That's what they've been doing. But yeah, I want to be right, not because I enjoy being right, because I want Star Trek to be good. I think it's the best place they can go.
Sure.
And I'm seeing little flags here and there to make it that give me hope.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the same flags you are. Is the thing I'm seeing the exact opposite.
Because I'm seeing Michael Burnham, the character, not the actress's name. I don't know her name. I should look it up, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy. Like, she's clearly unhinged. She clearly makes a lot of mistakes. And yeah, it's.
By the way, the actress's name is. Sorry, before you go on, I just want to say this actress's name is Sonequa Martin Green.
Okay, who's good. I really like what she's doing with the character.
I thought she was fine. She was good. She was definitely good.
Yeah. But, like, she clearly makes a lot of mistakes. She's clearly unhinged. Not obviously so, but, like, scared, lashing out kind of way. And everyone around her is telling her you're wrong. Including her captain, who we established pretty early on is a lot brighter and more clever than she lets on. Because the in the first scene, like they're stuck on a desert planet, and her captain, Michelle Yeoh's character, Giorgio. Yes, Giorgio basically like, yeah, I've got a plan. Don't sweat it. And while having a conversation with Commander Michael, walks around in the desert until she makes a big Starfleet chevron, which is their signal to get picked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's just something. Again, I'm just going by gut feeling and reaction to, as I said, I've got nothing concrete to go on.
Okay.
It's just the way they were framing stuff and the certain elements of the writing and tone in the dialogue from the Admiral and from Captain Giorgio's, responses to thing is being presented as being incorrect. It's a weird read. I don't know.
Okay. The Admiral certainly, but that's because the Starfleet Admirals are all assholes.
Oh yeah.
You do not get to be an Admiral in Starfleet without being an asshole. It's just the way it works.
Apparently. But yeah, I don't know. At any rate, we could go on about this particular point for a while, but
Sure.
there's just a lot about it that just didn't. It didn't feel particularly Star Trek-y to me. I will say that, but I mean, part of that is just how, like, here are Klingons, and we're hearing Klingons speak Klingon, except they are not Klingons.
I'm okay with trying new prosthetics and whatnot, but they went overboard. Okay, crazy cult. They no facial hair or hair at all. Fine, they shave everything. Crazy cult, whatever. But
they're very clearly a Kalis cult. I mean that's I have no real issue with that.
But the manner in which they've done it is they didn't just use prosthetics to give them slightly more alien bone structure. They are just completely weird, not Klingon-y weirdness. Like, there are no aesthetic cues beyond the Blade of Honor showing up. That sort of Klingon tri-blade.
The Klingon symbol, like the Klingon like logo, as it were.
The Klingon logo shows up.
And like the fact that they've got the double-bladed they've got the quote batleths. I mean, they're double-bladed swords that you hold in the middle. Other than that, they're not batleths.
Yeah. They've got like these weird hooks on them. It's like, it's supposed to be sort of a giant crescent blade that you hold in the middle, and there's a lot of different designs you can do for that. But a pair of deerhook swords droned in the middle is not one of them.
Yeah, and just like, other than the logo, there's almost nothing about the Klingon characters that says Klingon.
Yeah.
Like,
no, the design is overwrought and
honestly, that design
completely
does not
over-designed.
feel Star Trek.
Completely over-fucking designed.
Like that, the visuals of that doesn't feel Star Trek.
No, not at all. the everything is completely over the top ornate. There's this weird spider web motif through everything. The armor is. They might be trying to go for more of like a samurai look with the armor, but which I'm only just thinking of now, but it's not working.
It does not work at all. It doesn't look like samurai armor at all. Like
I'm just not on the cult leader with his weird gold spiderweb gorget and yeah, but some of the other guys with the way the shoulders sort of curve up.
I guess a little bit, but like, yeah, no.
It's just an idea that I just thought of, but it's just not. Yeah, I do not dig anything design wise. The Klingons, the Fed ship looks great. I like the design of the bridge. I like the new Federation uniforms. And the production values.
I'm baffled by how those Federation uniforms become the uniforms in original series in 10 years.
Yes. Yeah, I could totally see that.
I can't.
Oh, sure, I can. They've got it's relatively closely fitting, and they've got the color coding with the silver and the gold. We haven't seen anyone from security or engineering yet. But the sort of the paneling on the sides.
I'm not really faulting them because, you know, original series uniforms were simplistic. And, you know, I like the fact that, you know, we do not have the female characters in miniskirts.
Yep.
I mean, I don't object to miniskirts. It just doesn't seem like particularly uniformy to me.
Mm.
But that was the 60s, you know? I mean, these uniforms look more like the stuff they were wearing in Enterprise. I mean,
yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah, it's an evolution of the Enterprise uniform.
But again, it's a 10-year gap from that to next gen's loungewear. Honestly, it looks like it would flow better into not next gen. I'm sorry, original series loungewear.
Right.
It looks like it would flow better into next gen's uniforms. Honestly, than it flows.
Yes.
Into original series.
That I agree with. It would definitely flow better than next gen's uniforms.
I'm okay with, but like, and you know the Shenzhou, the ship looks fine. That ship looks fine.
Yeah.
The hints of what we see of the Discovery don't. And dear God, the Klingon ships.
One of them looked like a Klingon ship.
Vaguely. Technically, the first one we see has sort of the general physical outline, if you ignore the weird bumpiness of a Klingon battlecruiser.
Yes. It's got the head, the neck, and the pylons on the wings.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But my God.
It looks like someone described a Klingon ship to the Zentradi and then asked them to build one.
Kinda? While consulting with the Dark Eldar, I think.
It's not pointy enough to be Dark Eldar. Come on.
Fair point, actually. There's a weird, very 40K aesthetic to a lot of the Klingon stuff in this.
Yeah, sort of, in that it's got that sort of
I shouldn't say like
overwrought
all of it.
weirdness
like,
to it.
of it. There are elements of the 40K aesthetic.
Yeah, it's got that sort of weird overwroughtness to it.
Yeah.
But the influences are definitely, like, 40K stuff is clearly more influenced by 19th century Prussian stuff.
Sure.
While this feels much more necromonger.
With more pointiness.
With more pointiness than the bad guys from Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Which Maintain is an underrated movie. I mean, seriously, it's Conan in space.
But yeah,
No, I see a lot of potential. I'd be interested in seeing where it's going. I'm not interested enough to subscribe to CBS.
Oh, fuck
CBS
that.
streaming
No,
service.
no.
No. I'm sorry, guys. Like, you needed to fucking blow me out of the water there to do that, and you didn't.
They didn't come close
You
to that.
blew my expectations out of the water. It is not just watchable, but possibly even good, depending where you go. Is the second episode, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
gonna
like for
subscribe.
everything I'm hearing about their service, it's a paid service and it still has ads.
Yeah,
There's a reason I don't sub to Hulu
yeah,
because fuck you. If I'm
and
paying you money directly, fuck you.
yeah. There's no, guys. Don't just you know better. Don't.
Holy fucking shit! I think that is. Oh my lord.
What?
Now Gav just linked a picture of a sketch of the ship, the main Klingon ship there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is overwrought.
I will show this on stream. I'll show this in the video here. I think that's the right one.
That is definitely overwrought.
That's hideous, honestly.
Yeah. You guys could restraint, guys, restraint.
Like, seriously, what the ever-living fuck? Like, how does this become any Klingon design we ever see?
The basic outline. It's got the basic outline. It's got the neck with the sort of command module up front.
The basic outline is one thing, but like...
But no, it's completely overwrought, ridiculous. Jesus
it's not
Christ.
utilitarian in any way, shape, or fucking form.
No, not at all.
Which is the whole fucking, like, design aesthetic of every fucking Klingon ship. Like, that is part and parcel with the...
It's Warhammer Fantasy's Empire given 40K's technology, is what it is. It's just completely gonzo, off the wall, ornate for the sake of being ornate. There's nothing... Yeah.
That is so anti-Klingon. Ugh. Like, I thought it looked weird in the shot.
Yeah, well, it's almost entirely backlit in the shot.
Which
we can't
see
I'll say any of this.
Saves that design.
Yes, absolutely.
Jesus.
That's all. That's too much, guys.
Cav also suggested, draw what you want, just stay within the lines. They didn't even say the lines! They go over the lines in places with pointy bits!
I will say that there's an interesting idea in it, in that we find out that the ship is covered in the mummified remains of Klingons. They're like stuck to the hull, and I really like that, in that it one, crazy cultists, two, Klingons have always had a lot of Norse and Japanese influences, and doing that makes me think of the Nailfar from Norse mythology, the ship made from the nails of dead men.
Yeah.
And that's a neat idea. I like it. Particularly for crazy cultists. But this is too much, guys. This is too much.
That design is just... what?
I can see that they're trying to do a cathedral thing here.
Yes, they are.
And to which I say, you know who does cathedral ships really well? Games Workshop. And I have a lot of problems with Games Workshop sometimes, but they know how to mix the whole utilitarian plus, like, Baroque. Look at it. Look at an Imperial battleship. But yeah, I've got a lot. As I said, I have a lot of problems with the design, with the art direction for the Cleons, and this just illustrates them very well right here. Overwrought, busy for the sake of being busy, losing the soul of the Klingons in the process.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll say this, I'm not encouraged. That said, I agree with you. It was not a dumpster fire. It
Yeah.
was. That was actually probably one of the better Trek pilots,
Yes, absolutely.
which is a sad commentary on most Trek pilots. We actually talked about this a bit before we actually started the stream up. It's not as good as it's not as good as the original series pilot,
Right, which was the one with the Salt Vampire.
which was a thoroughly not bad episode.
Yep.
It wasn't great, but it set the tone for what Star Trek would become pretty darn well.
Yes. And it's not as good as DS9's first
Nope.
episode,
I would agree with that.
which did a good job of showing the contrast of what Star Trek was with what DS9 would be.
Yeah, sure. And I will say, in fact, Counter Farpoint is deeply flawed, but at least it feels like Star Trek.
Right.
But I would say this is probably from a. I would say that the two of them are roughly equivalent overall, in terms of quality.
This an Encounter on Farpoint, really?
Yeah.
I was entertained by this. I was not entertained.
I was entertained by Counter Farpoint. I thought it's deeply flawed, but it had a sense of wonder to it. Like, yeah, the space jellyfish were stupid, but like the whole introduction of Q thing was interesting.
Yeah, the thing with the Q was the only thing that made it interesting.
I don't know. I think Counter Farpoint is not as bad as a lot of people give it credit for. It's not,
it's
great.
It's not good, and it's not. You're right. It's not as bad as a lot of people say.
Right,
but
I would say
earned itself a reputation for being bad that far outstrips what it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, season 1 of Next Gen has real fucking issues.
Yes,
just code of honor is all you have to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. But. And I'd say that there are a lot of ways in which I would say this first episode of Discovery was better than Encounter at Farpoint. There are a lot of ways I think it was worse. That said, I would say that they're in the same ballpark is what I'm saying.
I like this better than Encounter on Farpoint.
I could totally, I accept that. That's totally reasonable. That's a perfectly reasonable reaction, actually, honestly. It's definitely better than the first episode of either Voyager or Enterprise.
Yes.
So it's
in fact, I like the opening sequence to Discovery. I actively enjoyed the opening sequence.
Yes, I would agree with you. That was actually really good. And if the show had kept that sort of theme and vein and feel, I'd been much more encouraged.
Okay. Unfortunately, I feel like we're doing this with only half the information.
Yeah, I know, but
because we're both looking at it and seeing two different directions that we expect it to go in.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. At some point, I'll probably watch the second episode. On some source somewhere. I'm not signing up for their streaming service, so no, fuck that noise.
I think that's the general consensus throughout all of reality.
Yeah. All right.
I'm afraid that even if it does end up being really good, is doomed because of CBS.
Oh, no, this show is doomed. Period. It is not going to make the money that they want it to make, and it's going to It's going to kill the possibility of Star Trek, of new
future.
Trek in future. which might be a good thing. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I want them to do post
It's not going to
DS9 Star
happen.
Trek.
They're not going to do it.
It I know. How dare they take a show about going forward and discovering and exploring new things and go forward and discover and explore new things.
But yeah, this is going to this is gonna put a spike in any other possibilities of
Yeah,
other new Trek series coming out. Um, it's a shame. It's a shame. This could end up being good. It's entirely possible. I don't expect it to. Uh, but yeah, I am it's just what the ever living and mind you, I totally understand releasing it on a streaming service and not on television. I get that.
sure. I think would. I think they had chosen a couple streaming services that would have been the right move to make, honestly, because they could have stuck it on Netflix and Hulu and maybe one or two smaller ones. Because that's basically what they did with friggin' TNG. What was the '90s equivalent of that?
Yeah,
They did. It was a show done for syndication.
but yeah, I'm mystified by just the we're going to create our own streaming service and this will be our first big thing on it, and it's like, okay, you're gonna create your own streaming service. I'm not gonna pay
Cool. You have a big flagship show. Great. That's the only thing you've got. Okay,
like
the rest of Star Trek, but the rest of Star Trek is already available on most of the other streaming services.
only kinda, and maybe not for long.
It's true. Maybe not for long.
I don't know. I'm like I don't get it. I really don't. And again, I'm just the fact that again it's a streaming service where you pay and you still get ads. I'm just like,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, shall we say?
I don't get that model doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. I mean, like I I have an issue with cable television because of that. Because
I can't blame you.
Seriously, it's like the fuck you. But that I at least it's a case of the advertising money there is going to the networks who are who aren't my money's not going directly to.
Right.
My money's going would be directly going to CBS here.
Yes.
Fuck you.
There is no whatchamacallit, side thing here. There's no middleman. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Fuck you. No, 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 not happening.
And yeah, no, I completely agree with you. With regards to the friggin' streaming service,
Yeah.
I am not paying you to deal with commercials. Okay, I am paying you so that I don't have to. That is the whole point of me giving you the money directly. But fuck you, consumer.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So yeah. Very clearly, you liked the show more than I did. The first episode
Yeah,
more than
no,
I
I
did.
enjoyed it more than you did.
Yep.
I am more hopeful for the second episode. The second episode may well dash those hopes or vindicate them. I'll have to watch it to find out. At the same time, I'm not in a hurry to see the second episode. It's a shame that it feels very much like we're having this discussion with only half the information.
Yeah. It's just that there's just I can't put my finger on it, but there's stuff in there that it feels like I can see where it's going.
Mm.
And I don't know what it is exactly. It's something I'd have to sit down and like rewatch it again and really sort of focus on it and try to figure out exactly what it was I was figuring out. But
Yeah, sure. My I think part of it is I went in there with lower expectations than you did.
I'm not sure how that's possible. My expectations were basically non-existent. I thought it was going to be, it was much better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah,
That's not saying anything. I was expecting this to be complete garbage.
yeah. I was expecting complete and utter dumpster fire, like destroy everything, burn salt the earth, then nuke it from the orbit and glass the resulting sand. Because nothing like that should be able to grow again. It was what I was expecting. But it blew that out of the water. It was not just not bad, it was almost good. Again, second episode will make or break it. If it goes the direction I hope that I think it'll go in, awesome. If it goes the direction you think it'll go in, then yeah, fuck it.
Oh, as an aside, also, is it just me, or is it very clear that Michelle Yeoh's character is doomed?
Oh, she's not surviving the second episode.
Yeah, okay.
Or if
good.
she is, she's getting the fucking Pike treatment.
Okay, good. I'm making sure we're on the same page here.
Number one, she costs too much money to be a regular.
Yeah. Damn shame. She's actually the best. She's probably my favorite part about the show.
Well, that's because she's fucking amazing.
Well, it's Michelle Yeoh. I mean, yes, guest starring Michelle Yeoh. Yes, Gav. Here's the thing. There are ways to craft a show, a sci-fi show, and a Star Trek show where the captain is a guest starring role.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is the ship isn't the Discovery. Yeah, I'm aware, Gav.
Yeah, no, that ship is not surviving the second episode.
No.
It is getting blown out of the water by the Klingons. Like, whatever happens, it is getting blown out of the... It is turning to space dust. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I'm being the weirdly optimistic one. What's going on here?
What? Wait.
With regards to the show, I'm used. It's weird. I've become more optimistic in my old age.
When have Eric? When have I ever been the optimistic one about stuff like this?
Okay, good point.
I generally expect bad writing in television and cinema.
Here's the thing. I am not a professional writer, so when I see what is clearly the most obvious and most interesting place to go with the show, I expect them to do it because I'm not a professional, and if I can see it, surely they can. But then I've seen enough sitcoms to know that's not true.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I'm not a professional writer either, Eric, but I've seen enough bad television to know that they don't go that way. So yeah, I don't know. At any rate, I think we've mined talking about Discovery enough for tonight.
Half of the story, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
not that I'm bitter.
Oh, for fuck's sake. At any rate, well, I mean, the second episode is technically available. If we thought to watch it Sooner we could have, I guess.
Yeah. If we'd come up with the idea sooner, could have, but we didn't. What's most annoying is that we watched the first episode because that's what they had for free, and
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the second episode was not aired on television.
yeah,
It was
they
released the
only
same
give
night.
you half the story. It's like I can't make a valid judgment on that.
Yep. No, it's very clearly a blatant ploy to get you to sign up for the free trial so they can mine you for your information and sell that to
Yep.
advertisers. Like it's not even subtle.
It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. No.
I'm not sorry. Fuck you guys. No. There's no sorry there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Can it be a sarcastic sorry? Because it's really what it is. Like,
Fair enough.
You should know better.
Yeah, fair point, Eric. I'm just not even willing to give him the sarcasm on this one. I'm that annoyed. All right, so we do have a question in the chat, which we might want to answer. We do like answering viewer questions, and
Yes.
we got one, so sweet.
Excellent.
Darth Elmo asks, starting with Pathfinder game, where a large part of the game will be wilderness survival. I want the wilderness to feel appropriately hard to survive in, like the old West Frontier. So the main idea I had is in writing a random survival table with things like reflex saves to avoid tripping and a route, and having sprained ankle, lowering speed, etc. Make a perception check to notice monsters, moisture in the food, supply to avoid it, so on and so forth.
I think.
Yeah, it is either for the table or anything else. You're going to make the wilderness feel more dangerous.
I think survival checks. Have everyone make a survival check. For that kind of stuff with a result as to how bad they feel what could happen, like sprained ankle, food poisoning, dysentery.
Yeah.
But if they're smart, the guy with the actual highest survival skill will be in charge of their food and setting up camp, and therefore, lessen the possibilities of things screwing the whole party. On the other hand, like I feel like that stuff's usually best done as part of a plot point. Like we can assume the characters are competent enough to cross the wilderness to get to point A to point B, unless the entire plot is how bad it is.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think it also depends entirely on your players.
Yes.
The level to which you want to take this. Like your basic idea of like survival checks or like random survival issue tables and such are all fine for for a quick and dirty thing. For some players, they like planning out and coming up with plans and planning ahead to try to avoid getting, like they like doing the sort of bookkeeping type stuff and planning to around surviving in hostile environments. So like simply having it be a survival check might end up feeling unsatisfying to them. So if they quote plan properly, if you have players like that who like doing that and are good at that and do plan properly, I would make sure to give them bonuses on these tables, because you don't. There's nothing more frustrating to going through a lot of preparation and coming up with a lot of contingency plans, only for them to not matter at all, and you still get screwed over somehow by random dice effects.
Yes, like that. Always keep in mind, make sure it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I know some people that would be all over what Peter described, like the double checking everything and making sure and making sure they got like appropriate supplies of all these different things, like ridiculous amounts of bookkeeping. I'm the guy that's like, can I just reduce this to a single check?
Yeah, totally.
How far can we abstract this?
I know people on both sides of it. I'm sort of in the middle. I like a little bit of bookkeeping and planning. Like I totally rock like wanting to say, okay, all right, how long a journey do I think this is going to be? All right, so it's going to be that long. We therefore make sure we have this many days worth of supplies plus extra because things might go wrong. We want to make sure we have waterproofing and all this other such. So the sudden rainstorm doesn't cause our food to spoil, etc. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, but that's like the level I'm willing to go to. I don't want to nitpick down through day by day how much food we've got, etc. That's more bookkeeping than I want to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, I do some of that in real life. I don't want that in my gaming.
Right. But yeah, Darthel, you're right. That's exactly right. Something for the players to overcome, not just to screw them over. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So honestly, I think you might get more mileage out of basically planned obstacles more than random charts for survival.
Yeah.
That's also a good thing. Like plans to only have for the first few levels and have less of them to reflect character growth and such. Absolutely.
Yep. Definitely.
Like as their survival skills go up, honestly, at a eventual point, they're like, yeah, they can just take 10 to pass the difficulty survival checks to make sure they plan properly, etc. Uh,
Yeah, no, I agree entirely with Peter's assessment there, which is why he's the game master.
so yeah. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, Dothan. Like 20 items and cross it off the list once they're all used up. They know how to do. Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a really good way to do it. I think.
Yes. I think it's a good way to do it.
All right. So I think that is. Oh, before I forget, there were a couple of comments on the campaign brainstorming thing last time,
Oh, cool.
which we wanted to mention. We said we were going to. And
Yep.
so Hugh Smith wrote in and said he kind of sees the dwarves using their stuff somewhat like nuclear reactors. The stones heat the fluid that drives the steam turbine, lasts a long time, while the orcs burn the stones directly, giving more initial power but a far shorter lifespan.
Mm. Yeah, I like that actually.
I can
That's
see that
cool.
too. Yeah.
Which of course means that orcs need more stones, which further reinforces the idea of them being mercs and raiders.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I dig it.
That's definitely another way to go. That'd be kind of cool. I like it. And Lazodiac writes in some other ideas for the setting: autonomous golem soldiers, maybe elementals of sort of counterpoint to the Mechanites. Thinking of it, the Genasi, from 4th edition, half elementals that instead of having proper mecha can either hulk out or go into a dormant thing, maybe an artifact, to animate it into a much larger mecha-esque version of whatever element they are. Interesting ideas.
Yeah.
Like those. Cool. We love that kind of shit.
Yes, absolutely.
Sweet guys, thank you so much for those. I really do appreciate that. I think those are
Yeah,
really
that's
cool
pretty
ideas.
awesome.
Stuff to consider for if anybody decides to, if for some reason you randomly decide, hey, that campaign seems neat, I want to use it, go right ahead. Uh, at any rate, that's going to do it for tonight, I think. We love getting viewer questions, and like the one we got in live chat today,
Yep.
or via email, or in the YouTube comments. Email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards @yahoo.com. As I said, or you can post them in the forums, not in the forums, on the comments in the YouTube. We love getting viewer questions, and we love taking time to answer them at the end of the show. If we get enough of them all at once, we could do an entire Q&A episode. But we need questions to do that. So
Yeah, that's not happening without you guys.
But
Although
yeah,
that'd be a pretty cool episode.
we've done one or two of them. So But yeah, if you got questions, send them to us. We love getting those. If you got show topic suggestions, send them to us also. We love suggestions for show topics.
Yeah, those are
God damn, we
great.
love those. They're the best things ever. Like the only thing we arguably like more than that, and I think we like the show topic suggestions more than this, is constructive criticism, feedback, ways we can make the show better. Uh, we don't get enough of it, honestly.
It's true.
So same email address, YouTube comments, etc. We love getting that shit. Yeah, that's yeah. So questions, topic suggestions, feedback. We love all that shit. Send it to us. We love it. We love it. We love it. We record the show most Monday nights at roughly 7 p.m. Eastern here on twitch.tv/mechagm. And then I upload the recordings to YouTube. Other than that, though, that's most of what we cover. Oh, yeah, I tweet out when the show's going to go live on my Twitter. My Twitter handle is @mechagm. Other than that, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Next week will almost certainly be an episode of 3 Men in Anime instead of Grognards, because we should have finished up watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which will make for an entertaining episode, I think. Other than that, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, guys. Bye.
Bye, humans.